Let's ask the real questions. Is this about protecting public discourse? Or is this about silencing an opposition leader who's slowly connecting with more people across Jamaica? More and more people are willing to march on with him. More people are willing to go with Golan. Welcome to the Port's Garrison. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to another edition of the Poets Garrison, where we don't bow to spin and we call out the facts where they land. So I thank you for taking your time out. Today, I want to look at politics, profanity, and double standards, the old Mark Golan controversy. The backlash against opposition leader Mark Golan over a single word, yes, a Jamaican curse word, bomberclot, that ignites an entire political firestorm. But, as always, there's more to the story than just what the headlines say. Let's look at what was said, how it was said, and more importantly, what hasn't been said about others who have done far worse, sometimes with applause. Here, let's first take a look at what Mark Golan said.
Southwest saying, Ann, are you ready for Iman, Marky G, Mark Jefferson Golan? Yo. Well, you look like you're ready. You sound like you're ready. You feel like you're ready. And even though the mic not ready.
Yeah.
And even.
Yeah.
And even though the mic. Blood clot. Yo. Hey. One.
So let's be clear from the jump. Mark Golan did factually utter a Jamaican bad word, a curse word, an expletive. But here's the full honest context. Something too many people conveniently left out. It wasn't shouted into the mic. It wasn't part of a fiery speech. It was sotto voce, a quiet, frustrated comments, muttered under his breath, caught by a hot microphone he likely didn't know was being recorded, wasn't working, whatever. Now, he was clearly irritated in the heat of the moment. It wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't a rehearsed line. It wasn't political theater. It was a human reaction. So, we have criticized, or they have criticized Mark Golan for not being Jamaican. Not Jamaican enough. And then, when he does something typically very Jamaican, we question it. Who among us have never used that word in the heat of passion, joy, frustration, sadness, anger? Well, I have. I've used it many times. You see a nice thing, I say, "Bomba cloud, that look good." Square goal, I say, "Bomba cloud." You're mad and you yell in a way to express your anger. It's context. Context matters, how the word is used. He wasn't yelling at the crowd. He was just frustrated that the mic wasn't working the way he wanted to work, and he said it under his breath. And without any pressure from the media or anybody, society, anyway, without any prompting, Golan has issued an apology. A full public apology, where he acknowledged the slip, explained the emotion behind it, and said clearly it was wrong. Now, compare that to what followed. An avalanche of criticism, mostly from the governing Jamaica Labour Party, led by Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who saw an opportunity and he took it. Here, let's check out Andrew Holness.
Are those who have used the political stage primarily to bring down people, thinking that popularity can be earned through profanity. But I say to you, as I have written to my political party to say, we are not in a race to the gutter. There are things that I will readily admit that it is not within my control. And politics, it is like liquor. When you drink too much of it, you get drunk. And people get drunk on power. But even the fumes of power can get you drunk. Some people have gotten drunk on just the fumes of power. We are reminded, we have a tendency to believe that word is wind. In today's world, wind is energy. So word is not an ineffectual thing. Word shapes minds. Words guide our hearts. Words signal what kind of leadership we have.
Oles didn't just criticize Golding's language. He went all in. He called it vile, disgraceful, and he framed it as evidence that Golding was unfit for leadership. Andrew Oles turned a quiet moment of frustration, caught rather accidentally, into a national indictment. He questioned not just Golding's temperament, but even his authenticity. The implication, this wasn't just a slip-up, it was a character flaw. Let's look at track record of Golding. Have we seen anything like this before? No, we hear the narrative being spread that he's a drunkard, he's a rumhead. Well, I know Mark Golding personally, and I've never seen him drinking. I don't know he's a rumhead. And we know that rum flows freely on most political platforms. But I don't know Mark Golding is a rumhead or a drunkard. And that narrative is being pushed out there, including being pushed very subtle by the Prime Minister. And while the Prime Minister Oles was busy condemning one muttered curse word, he forgot to look at the mountain of profanity and coarse behavior sitting right on his own bench. Now, let's talk receipts. Let's look at the receipts. Let's start with the usual suspect, Everett Wilmington. This man has made and I've made many videos about him and Andrew Oles, and how Andrew Oles has allowed him to get away with whatever he wants to. But this man has made a career of expletive-laced rants. Some right there, even in Parliament. It is almost expected of him now. It's like nothing new is accepted. His language has been repeatedly condemned in public discourse, yet Oles has never publicly chastised him, not once. Now here, as if we need it, is a reminder of one of the many instances of Wilmington being really coarse on the platform.
Little party, put the X beside the fucking bell. Put it beside the bell. And stop that nonsense about Member of Parliament.
So you'll recall Member of Parliament Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, or when her leaked telephone conversation surfaced with her unleashing a barrage of profanity, largely aimed at a subordinate. We didn't really hear anything, and I don't want to pressure her because I made a post when this happened on my social media platform, one of my social media platform in 2015. And I made this post in September 2015, and I want to show you the consistency of my thinking. So I want to read the post for you. As an individual who thinks of myself as out of the box, as an honor rebel, I don't set moral bars for others higher than the ones I set for myself. We all can drink from the same bar on the corner of the name brand uptown establishments. This is particularly true for politicians and aspiring politicians. I am rarely ever impressed by words or the eloquence of delivery, but rather by the delivery of tangible deeds. As a Jamaican, and an expressive one at that, an outspoken one, I understand the use of Jamaican bad words, cuss words, choice words to express joys, pain, anger, frustration, et al. And the universe knows I'm very skilled in delivering them. I seek to score no political points from the audio clips during the rounds of an inspiring politician expressing frustration in that colorful Jamaican style. The universe bear witness that I have heard far worse from many. Politics is no Sunday school, and a lot of us need to first look into our personal mirrors. Mirror, mirror on the wall. So I did that. I posted that from 2015. So I'm not like going after people just because their political views or ideologies might be different from mine. That's not it. So Angie Owens needs to set the tone, as I said in my previous video. And there are other instances of other persons messing around on the political stage. And they've gotten, I think, a slap on the hand. Let's look at Larry Levas, for example. And what I'm going to say is not hearsay. I have a video. Video evidence is there of him using not one, but multiple expletives on stage at a political rally. He didn't whisper. He's untouchable. He shouted them. The crowd roared. Still no condemnation from the Prime Minister. Let me remind you in this video of what Vaz said on a political platform. Here, take a look.
And you know some people that can't blood clot
Let's not forget other JLP figures who have used aggressive and inflammatory language on public platforms. Language that, if we are being consistent, should have earned them a tongue lashing, at least a tongue lashing from the Prime Minister. But it didn't. Because the issue really isn't the profanity. It's who says it. Now enters MP Carencia Morrison, and I must tell you, I have had a problem pronouncing her first name because as a member of parliament, she's not known nationally. I don't know if her constituents know her, but she hasn't script. I don't know if she has any private members' motions or anything to say, here, this is my contribution to the parliament, apart from being a serial bench knocker. So I struggled to pronounce her name. I didn't really know what her name was. Carencia Morrison. So she decided to take the controversy one step further by attempting to mock Mark Golding on stage. Here, let's take a look and a listen at what she had to say and what she did.
You're looking ready. You look good. You look ready. You sound ready. Huh? Yo.
Testing 1, 3, me not guess 2, what about
What up, Sanchez? Labor rights. Yeah. Yo. You look ready? You sound ready? 1. Yo. Hey. Sanjay.
Testing 1, 3,
We're ready,
me not
Labor
guess
rights.
2, what about you? Testing, it's going after me, step out in a me, block, and a me, choke, man, shot, and a bun, span, bad, but
Stop it! Woo! We don't have any mic problems here. This party's ready. We're always ready. All systems ready. Shower labor rights.
She didn't just repeat his words. She performed them, mimicked him in a way that many felt was both patronizing and offensive. It wasn't just about the language. It was about class, identity, and who's allowed to speak like the people. Her message was clear. Golding, you're not one of us. You're uptown. You're British. Whatever. Stick to the Queen's English or the King's English or whatever it is. Leave the bad words to those who earn that right. I guess like Wilmington and Vaz. That mockery told the country far more than the JLP's mindset than Golding's frustrated whisper even or ever could. And here's the uncomfortable truth. there's a deep double standard in Jamaican politics around how language is policed. When a JLP member cusses, it seems a fiery, real, even relatable. It seems that way. They try to sell it that way. When a PNP leader, especially one from an uptown background, says the same thing, and even quietly in frustration, not addressing people, it becomes a moral failing. It is an example of the drowning man seeing a straw and thinking it's a lifesaver and clutching at it. So it's not just about profanity, it's about belonging, about gatekeeping cultural expression. Let me repeat that. Gatekeeping cultural expression. About who's allowed to speak with emotion, with edge, and with the voice of the streets. Mark Golding one-off expression, a private reaction caught accidentally, is being treated like it's a national scandal. Meanwhile, repeated and public use of stronger language by JLP members is swept under the rug. Is that justice? Or is it political convenience? So, let's ask the real questions. Is this about protecting public discourse? Or is this about silencing an opposition leader who's slowly connecting with more people across Jamaica? More and more people are willing to march on with him. More people are willing to go with Golding. Mark Golding owned his mistake. He apologized. He didn't double down. He didn't laugh it off or perform it for cheers. He acted like a grown-up. Here, let's listen to Mark Golding and Mark Golding's apology.
And comrades, it sounds like we have a good microphone system tonight. Last night, I was at another function, and a pure problem with the microphone. And me bought a little BC under my breath. Me never mean anybody to hear it. And a live feed pick it up. So I just want to say to anybody who heard it and feel offended, sorry here, sir. Me never mean no disrespect. Me never mean to offend nobody. Me's a humble youth and a well-behaved youth. And I would never disrespect Jamaican people.
So we just heard what Mark Golding had to say. And yet, he's been pillared while others with longer, louder, and far worse records get a pass. Not even a slap on the wrist, a pass. That's not leadership. That's hypocrisy. Plain and simple. So here we are talking about one curse word instead of crime, corruption, the cost of living, the Integrity Commission, the illicit 10 or 12, whatever the number is, the cost of medical drills, the cost of medical bills, importations of bus. I could go on and on and on. But we choose to deflect from those issues and talk about storms in teacups. Mark Golding slipped up, yes. He said something he shouldn't have, and he took responsibility. That's more than that can be said for many in the JLP who have done worse and said nothing. Now, if we care about standards, let's apply them evenly. Let's be fair across the board. If we care about leadership, let's expect it from everyone, not just the ones, as the Prime Minister says, on the opposing side, or the ones in orange. Now, this is the Poets Garrison. I thank you for your time. And here, I don't promote storms in teacups at all. Me not take no chat from hypocrisy. And until next time. And this is the political silly season. The Garrison will be going crazy. So I'll be back and back and back. So until then, walk good. Take care. And think harder. Manners, enough respects. And blessings. Thanks for watching.